Elvis, you're welcome once again. Good of you to join us this evening.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Now, what is your take on the alleged plot to use the Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara?
Okay, for me, in the last few months, it's been one issue or the other in Rivers State. And you know that when there's crisis, it hinders development. And if you agree with me, our democracy is under threat at the moment. But most of these are leaders that are vehicles that are meant to be vehicles of, this democracy. They seem to understand that their actions and inactions in the precedents. When we see cases where ordinarily statements that shouldn't come from people who are supposed to be role models, it becomes a norm and it's being celebrated, it calls for questioning. Okay, fine. There are issues of the Supreme Court have, given its verdict, and from what I was told, the governor is trying to make peace with the lawmakers and all that. If really the oath of office that was being taken was centered around putting the River State interest first, and then everybody needs to bury their ashes and develop the state. At the moment, both the legislature is distracted, the executive council is distracted, and it affects, it hampers growth of River State. Let's not forget too lately that young people in River State are becoming musicians, courtesy of this courtesy of this problem. It's either for or against the incumbent governor, while some are for the FCT minister. Let's not forget that the future of River State is that it's bleak at the moment if this is not settled. So for me, I believe everybody involved, all stakeholders involved should come together. I believe we have elders in River State and they've made their points. And for me, impeaching the governor is not the way forward. It will temper more crisis, because if you see now, the narrative is gravitating towards ethnicity. Is now you will not distract our own. The judges are saying you will not distract our own. Why the FCT minister is using unpleasant words. You can't call a particular ethnic group that produces a large number of where the resources of the state you ran for almost 8 years, you call them minority. For me, it's a very negative statement, and the FCT minister needs to apologize for that statement. And I want to seize this opportunity to call on the president. We contracted governance to him. And in a country of 200 million people, he is the president today. It's a rare privilege. We gave him that contract with our votes, with trust and order that he will appoint people with character, capacity, and competence, people with proven track record. But lately, the FCT minister, I don't know the rage he has for the incumbent governor. His statements are not inspiring. His statements are inciting violence and all that. If really he means well for River State, he should be careful of his statement. But above all, I will advise that everybody should gravitate towards peace, because it's the only way there is peace we can make progress in River State.
All right, now, Mr. Akpobi, ministers of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Nyesom Wike, during a media chat on Wednesday, claimed that an Ijaw man wouldn't have become governor in River State without his support. Now, I know you made a reference to this. He further said Ijaw ethnic group doesn't constitute the majority in any of the Niger Delta states except Bayelsa. You've told us your thoughts on that, but let's focus on the gravity of such a statement coming from an FCT minister. What do you think might transpire from this kind of statement, especially from the Ijaw people?
That statement is inciting violence. For me, I believe that statement was made on a Dutch courage. I stand to be corrected, because for someone who did not fall from the sky to become a governor, he was supported. If he says an Ijaw man wouldn't have become a governor if not for his support, he shouldn't have amnesia to remember that maybe him too wouldn't have become a governor if the support did not come from an Ijaw man. And you can't call, like I said, I'll still reiterate again, you cannot call any ethnic group in Nigeria minority. Every ethnic group today contributes to the GDP of this country. Right. And as far as I'm concerned, an Ijaw man has been a president. and he did well. He obeyed the rule of law. So for someone like him who have benefited from the support of the Ijaws, he should apologize for making such statement. Death, they say, is inevitable. If the likes of Ike Clark were alive, I'm not sure the FCT minister will have that courage to use such negative words.
Are you expecting any response? Are you, Mr. Akpobi, are you expecting any response from the Ijaw people? I think maybe I should have asked it that way. Would you be expecting any response from the Ijaw people?
Yes.
And thank you for making the reference to the former president as an Ijaw man as well. What kind of response would you be expecting from this group and also the president, the former president?
For the former president, I've been privileged to, I worked with him during the last election observation in Liberia, AU election as an electoral observer. I know he's antecedent, he's a calm person, but I know as an elder statesman, he will address it in his own capacity. But it's time someone tell the FCT minister that Nigeria does not belong to him. He led and governed Rivers State for 8 years, and nobody did someone handed over to him. He governed that place in peace. I see no reason why he should not let the incumbent have peace, irrespective of whatever crisis they must have had, whatever misunderstandings they must have had. I think there should be a middle ground. But bringing ethnicity into it, coming on national TV to say a particular ethnic group is minority, he went below the belt with that, and he should apologize. That's my take.
So let's talk about the involvement of the federal government. We saw the president actually reach out to the parties involved. What role, if any, should the federal government play in resolving the political crisis in Rivers State?
If we'll talk about the federal government, invariably we're talking about the president. For me, I'm very, very disappointed, and I'm half annoyed that this is not the first time the president is calling such meeting. Invariably, for the #1 citizen of this country to call a first meeting, both parties did not share their sweat. He's calling a second meeting, and we are still having crisis, meaning there's more to this issue than the eyes can see. Is either the president is only trying to play politics with Rivers State, or is not willing to settle the issue yet? Because if the president appointed the minister of the FCT, if they're on a table and he says, stay away from this state, focus on whatever you're doing at the FCT. Fine, I was in Abuja the last time, and I saw things he was doing. I can commend him, but I commend his arrogance in leadership position. I condemn his arrogant character when it comes to leadership. So for me, I think the president should use his office to talk to both parties to share their sword. Because what I'm saying, I think they're just, they're not treating the substance of the problem. I think it's just virtual posturing that is going on with this issue. He should sit both parties down, give his word, and everybody should obey. He is the president.
I always want to say thank you for
if there is no politics around, his settlement should not be in sync with party differences or politics. If he is a president, is meant to protect lives and properties from the way the Rivers State crisis issue is going, we might find out that place might be a shadow of itself. It should not continue in this trajectory. So we should, as a matter of fact, urgency.
Elvis, you don't want us to end this conversation. I can see you don't want to end this conversation. I can understand the passion. In any case, we have to draw to a close this conversation. But thank you very much for giving us your expert opinion on the matters of Rivers State. Thank you, Elvis.